I'm Courtney.
And I'm Emily. And this is Cheers to That. Third time is the charm. Third try is the charm. Yeah, we have the giggles. We're delirious.
It's been a while since we've recorded, so I feel a little off my game. And so the only way to get back... Oh, no. Is this a sign? Is the sign a sign? Our sign just went off. It's out of batteries. So sad.
That's crazy that it died right after we just, not even an intro, just a hi.
Just like so if you're right now.
If you're just listening, we've got a cheers sign behind us on our bookshelf, and it just
completely
and died.
That was crazy because as soon as I turned, I saw it just kerplunk. So,
and honestly, the sign is a metaphor
it is.
For us because
us.
We went to the please. Welcome back to your Leaky podcast where we talk about marriage and laugh at everything in between. Anyways, we went to the museum. I keep saying the zoo. I texted you the zoo.
You have said zoo about 10 times.
I can't stop.
I even had to call you and confirm, hey, I'm just making sure you didn't switch up the plans to the zoo.
No.
Which I knew wasn't a chance because AC versus somewhere in the heat.
Correct.
We're going to choose AC.
Correct. And also, like, these words don't even, well, maybe a little sound like muse, zoo.
Nope. It's because they're right next to each other.
My phonemes? Is that what it is?
I don't know at this point. I am like totally on summer mode for sure. But we did go to the Museum of Natural Science here in Houston today because we have memberships because we're cool and we're nerdy.
I mean, I have a membership, but I couldn't find it. Wait, I don't have a membership at all, I don't think, do I?
Yeah, no, you should have one, but you haven't located it yet.
Yeah, so our husbands get memberships to the museum. I almost said zoo again. For Frizzle, from their company, but I could not locate mine. Connor tried to do this email, and so I said, fine. You want my money, zoo? Fuck. Oh my God.
Oh my God, are you okay?
No, I literally have a mental block. You want my money, museum? Here it is. Take it. Like, what?
It reminds me of whenever people are talking about like a wedding shower, but they say funeral instead. Have you ever done that before?
That's crazy. Nope.
No, really? Oh, I've definitely done
There's
that.
something I say instead of, I can't think of what it is right now, but there is something that I get really twisted up on. I think baby shower and bachelorette.
I could see it.
I don't know.
Bubba.
Yeah, it's going to start with a buh. And I just stopped thinking at that point. I don't
Wedding
know.
and funeral, I've definitely confused before.
That's
like,
wild. I've never.
I'm getting ready to go to their funeral, and it's just their wedding.
But maybe it is their funeral too.
It could. Till death do us part. Or divorce. You never know.
You never know. Well, today is our book club episode, but the reason we were talking about the museum is because we are brain dead. We took our children to the museum.
I did the math. We stayed there for about 2.5 hours.
Disgusting.
Which is
Despicable.
Tops what I've ever spent
I don't like
there.
to be anywhere but my home longer than 2 hours. Sorry.
You usually, your limit. What do you feel like your limit is? Like to go out and do an event?
God, it just so depends. It so depends. With my
Zoo,
child.
museum, things like that.
Zoo. It's hot outside. You got me for an hour and a half. Hour and a half feels fulfilling to me. And usually that's when Fielding starts to derail. Now, whether that's because I have put it in his head, that's when he derails. I'm not sure if it's like a placebo effect situation. I mean, towards the end of the museum today, he was
tired.
He was dove. But he didn't sleep the whole way home. Oh, didn't shut his eyes once, little demon. Yeah, he was sprinting around the museum the entire time. Like
the fact that he wasn't worn out. Yeah, I would say like 2.5 hours. I realized that's my max. And I would say that's about my max for the zoo as well. I can go like a little bit longer, but not much longer. My legs were hurting.
My feet, my back, my butt cheek, just one butt cheek on one side from carrying my gargantuan toddler.
Your tailbone.
My tailbone. Courtney had to carry Fielding for like, how far would you say you carried him?
Enough.
A football field?
My biceps actually got a really good workout.
No, she was like, I'm shaking a little bit. Like
I was like, if I had to carry him around all the time, I would look like Popeye.
Like you would think, but here I am. Flab.
I
muscles.
felt though, like, I don't know. I felt like my biceps were definitely kicked in. They were
engaged.
Yes.
My
engaged.
My right bicep versus my left bicep. What did I just say? Did I say bicep?
Yeah.
What? It's so substantially different. It's crazy. I'm gonna say something crazy. Cheers to that exclusive that no one cares about. I think it's changing my breast size on one side. I think my boob is smaller on my right side because I get more activity on that side.
And it will lead to all of a sudden you'll have a peg leg too. Like you'll
Cool.
you'll have to hobble around on one leg because one leg is so muscular.
Sick. Love that. I'm just saying, like, that's all I can relate it to is that my right side is like so much bulkier and stronger, and my left side is just flabby McFlabberson. So if you see me a little lopsided out on the streets, just
I'm lopsided because I have scoliosis, which I didn't realize I had until having Tucker.
Yeah.
The anesthesiologist diagnosed me right there in the room, and he said, "Did you know you have scoliosis?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Yeah, your spine is curved." I'm like, I've been to like 10 different chiropractors. No one's ever told me this, but no one had ever given me an x-ray.
Oh, well, you also didn't have an epidural with Addie. But here's my question. I think I've asked you this before, but I can't remember your answer. Did they check out for scoliosis in school? At the nurse's office where you have to bend over with your bra on and
Yeah, but that was like a little traumatic. And so I don't think they checked like the scoliosis part.
What was traumatic about?
It was just the doctor was traumatic. Like,
was it a guy?
Know. Yeah, it was an old
guy.
It was an old man. Yeah.
Do better, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He wasn't even he was just an ice cream truck driver.
Yeah, like it was just bad. I don't even want to. I'm okay.
Yikes.
So that's the only memory I have from like getting checked though for a physical because of track. And I'm guessing they check for scoliosis.
Yeah,
I
that's
just remember like him checking my heart rate. But like scoliosis, I think we had tests to do.
We had a very specific check in 5th grade. Like I remember it clearly, and it was like you had to wear a bra to school even if you never wore like a sports bra because they were gonna like lift your shirt up.
They did it at the school though.
Mm-hmm. Our school nurse did it.
We didn't have a school nurse, so
they also didn't have doors, windows, or walls.
We were out in the middle of the pasture.
There was also no teacher. The teacher was
teach yourself.
Nature. They just got dropped off in the wilderness.
Hello, tree. Nice to see you again.
Caught a coyote. Y'all are just doing like ayahuasca out in the fields.
Now I know why I can't do math.
Well, I can't do math either, so let's hope it's not that because I did not have that experience. But yeah, no, I can't believe you've lived this long with scoliosis. And someone literally told you in Ohio that you had one leg shorter than the other, and I'm going to go ahead and say that that's due to scoliosis.
Yes, and a hip defect. I have a lot of things wrong with me, and I always wondered, like, whenever I was working on my core a lot, 10 years ago, why one side, like, it just looked different. I'm like, that's because my body's freaking leaning. Like,
can I see an X-ray of your hip defect just sometime?
Yes.
I want to see.
Love to bring it out.
You can like tell it's different.
Yeah, you can. There's a little curve down there.
She's a disability, guys.
Please, sign
She's
me
disabled.
Up. Sign me up.
Get her a handicap sticker for her car. Prime parking.
ADA, like.
Yeah, literally. Take the ADA into account. Well, anyways, back to that. I don't even know.
To our actual podcast.
No idea where that tangent came from, but.
Museum. That's where it came from.
Museum.
I'm trying to figure out, I guess the direction we need to go today is book club. Like, should we just dive right on in? Is there anything else we need to? There's kind of a lot to cover, but I don't know. Like a quick part 2, just like go straight into book club and get it done and then see how we're feeling.
Yeah,
okay, let's do book club. So this is sad. I didn't get to go to book club this last
honestly,
Friday.
Like, it was sad for you. It was devastating for me.
Aw, well, it makes me feel so special. So maybe I'll miss every once in a while.
I feel uncomfortable now. I feel uncomfortable with my vulnerability. Never mind, you're allowed to be alone. I don't want to pretend I need you. Just kidding. Yes, it was terrible for you not to be there. I felt like a piece of me was missing. Aww. I felt more nervous for everyone to come over because my little security blanket wasn't there. My
it's
court
so funny because you always seem like so confident in having and hosting people. I didn't think that it would like make that big of a difference. But then like the thought of me hosting book club without you is like debilitating. I'm thinking, how in the hell am I going to do that? Which is never. I'm just not going to do it.
Love that. Here's a spoiler. I'm a fake bitch. I seem confident and I am not.
Whatever.
I'm just shooting my shot and seeing what happens. Like, that's really what we're doing. Fake it till you make it, baby girl.
Well, it was a small book club this time.
It was super small.
June is just a busy month. It's not because we've dropped in popularity. It's because...
And even if it is, we won't allow ourselves to think that way. No, it was really small. And, like, everyone kind of dropped out last minute, too, which is so funny because we're in a Bunko group, too. Bunko, same exact thing happened the week before, and they only had 4 people come as well.
Yes.
So, I had 3 people at my house. That was four people at my house. There was 5 of us total, including
which is
me.
A great bonding experience. I mean, but I don't think you said you talked a lot, but not necessarily like about the book.
We
because
didn't
you just,
do
like,
a
got to
great
chat.
job.
No,
Yeah,
that's great.
We did not do a great job at
I will not fault you.
booking, but it was still good. It just was like harder to get in the vibe more with like Sophie people just sitting around like my kitchen table. Like it just wasn't as book club vibey. We did a couple questions. We did our ratings.
But I think whenever it's a big group, it's just easy to get into those conversations that kind of string along.
Yeah.
And then I can see with a smaller group, it's like we get to the point and then, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you guys got to like hang out and visit. Yeah. You did do, so we'll get into the book in a minute, but they themed their snacks this time. So you guys did like British countryside snacks.
Yeah, so since there were so few of us that came, our friends Olivia and Bianca, who coincidentally are sisters, both Venmo'd me like more money than usual. And they were like, just buy something. Like, I don't have the bandwidth. And I'm like, good news. I too don't have the bandwidth to make anything. Yeah. So I ordered some little quiches from La Madeleine, which is French, but like close enough.
Same.
Close enough. Like British food, no thanks. What am I gonna eat? Bangers and mash? Yucky.
Or the in the book it talked about like a pineapple porcupine that had like cheese stuck out of it with toothpicks. No, we're gonna go fancy.
Sick. So we got La Madeleine, had their spinach strawberry feta bacon salad.
How was that?
Oh my god, it was delicious.
Their food is so good.
It was delicious. The quiche is pretty good. Kind of a weird dinner food, being that it's eggs.
I love it though.
I fuck with the quiche, so I'm not mad about it. And then what else do we get? Oh, and I got like little tarts. You know, very European. And then we drink our wine out of China. Teacups.
So cute.
Yeah, because I actually had teacups, and it honestly worked out perfectly because I only had 4.
Oh.
Bianca texted me and I was like, I've got these cute teacups. Like, do you think I can bring them? Like, will we not break them? And I was like, girl, I've got teacups. Don't bring yours. Like, I got it covered. I sent her a text because I got them out of my cabinet, and I was like, I literally have 4. Like, I don't know I thought I had a set for 8. Like, I really did in my heart think I had 8 of them.
I'm done.
And I was like, okay, that's crazy because I'd like wash them. I've never used it before. And yeah, I had 4.
No, but that's really funny. Very cute though, and on brand with the vibes of this book.
You know, so yeah, it was cute. And then Olivia brought little British flags, and I put them in everything. So it was fun. It was cute.
So cute.
And Anna brought a sleeve of British cookies, like biscuits.
Oh, where'd she find those at? Like just the store?
H-E-B,
just go buy British cookies?
Yeah.
The more you know.
I mean, it's like those like dry, brittle cookies, but those are kind of my favorite types of cookies because they're not really sweet.
Throw it a little. And
yeah. Like, you know what my favorite cookie is?
I'm scared to know.
It's the ones you get on Delta flights.
Oh,
the little weird cinnamony biscotti type things.
Oh, okay. I can see.
I love.
Yeah.
Like I choose Delta over other airlines so I can get those cookies.
And thankfully Connor's picky, so I'm sure you get to like
get his cookie too. I get his cookie too. No, it's like the best. It's the best experience. Like I don't like sweets, but I do like that weird expired gingerbread cookie very much.
You know what? You would probably like ginger snaps. Do you like those?
Never had one.
They're pretty good. They're very gingery, but
I love ginger.
They're good. I think you would like it.
I'm a ginger lady.
Try that at Christmas time because I think like I'm assuming that's the only
Courtney's rules. Can't make ginger snaps in the summer.
Only Christmas time, people.
You're gonna have to wait 6 months to try them.
Okay. Now that you said it like that, that sounds a little absurd.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, do you want to I have the summary pulled up and I was going to like read it and then like kind of summarize it on my own, or do you think like you want to summarize it?
Get it, girl.
Because I read this like 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah,
so
get it.
This is Broken Country. I keep calling it Broken Road, not
like
the name
Rascal
of the book.
Flats.
Yes.
Rascal Flatts styles.
Broken Country by Clare Leslie Hall. When we were researching her a little bit, I think this is one of her first like books she released. She has like 4 or 5 released now, but they all released in the same year. And so I think she's a new author, and Reese's book club, Reese Witherspoon's book club, got a hold of this book. And I think that's how it kind of went viral.
Put her on a map. And we'll see when it becomes a book. I mean,
a movie.
Spoiler alert, it already is a book. If it becomes a show or a movie, because that's what Reese usually does. You know, my girl Reese.
Oh, love that. Okay. Yeah. Didn't realize there was a correlation between Reese
like Big Little Lies, Little Fires Everywhere.
And those are always good.
I like Little Fires Everywhere.
Really?
Not my fave.
Okay.
Anyways.
Okay, so the book starts with Beth, the main character's Beth, and her husband Frank. And her husband is a very like gentle, loving creature. Like he's going to be there. Men are creatures. He's just there for her, like through thick and thin. So they are living their life on a farm. But this is a lot of pressure.
Oh,
you do this every time
from my brain. I don't even read it.
Like reading it, and I still can't. Okay, so let me try to do it because this is confusing me. So Beth and Frank are living on their farm, and it starts out. His brother Leo is also like heavily involved in the farm. Frank and Leo, right? What's the name?
Jimmy.
Huh?
Jimmy, Leo's Gabriel's son.
Oh man, I already messed up. Okay, hang on. Reset. If I can't make it through this part, then you take over.
You're fine.
So Jimmy is there. This is Frank's brother. And there is a dog that comes up and starts attacking their sheep. And the Frank has to grab the gun and shoot the dog. Sadly, this happens to be the dog of their neighbor. So they drive over to go tell, I don't know, the family that they killed the dog. And it turns out that their neighbor is none other than Beth's ex-lover, ex-boyfriend, Gabriel. And Gabriel has a son named Leo, and this was Leo's dog.
Yes.
And Leo is just crying, like, you killed my dog. It's horrible.
Devastated.
Now what happens next?
Sorry. That's okay. All right, so... Like, okay, but I really appreciate you trying. Thank you.
I tried.
You're fine.
It's so much pressure. I'm sweating now.
No. You're literally fine. Okay, so it's important to note that this book takes place in 3 different time frames as well. There's before, after.
I'm going to shut up.
You're fine. Before, after, and the trial. So before is going to be like Beth's senior year of high school, essentially. I believe it'd be like 1958, I'm going to say. No, maybe, whatever. 50s, late 50s, early 60s. And then the after, quote unquote, is like in 1968, I think is when that one's set. Regardless, like 10 years apart. So, and then the trial is going to be after the after. So yes, she runs into Gabriel, who we know that's like her ex-lover. Frank's really worried about it. He mentions it before they even see the dog. Gabriel's moving back to town, and she's like, my heart's kind of fluttering, whatever. And they live this really like simple but beautiful life on this British countryside farm, raising sheep and, selling them or whatever they do with sheep.
Yeah. And they like milk the cows. They do the entire farm life.
Yeah. It's top to bottom farm life. So come to find out that Beth has a son that died 2 years prior. And Leo, Gabriel's son, is pretty close to Bobby, the son's age, that died. So anyways, she instantly like has this connection with Leo, and really wants to be close to him and support him. His mom's not there because she lives in America.
She left the family.
For a new man, has a new baby. And so she is just like, it's this kind of perfect yin yang situation where she's a mother or a childless mother and he's a motherless child. And so they fit together like perfectly in that way, of spending time to each other and like fulfilling what they're yearning for. So that starts, she's hanging out with him. Gabriel is a really successful author, and they're going to start forming that connection. She tells Leo all about Bobby, her son that passed away. Leo becomes really obsessed. And then eventually it's going to lead to Gabriel and Beth having an affair again. That's kind of that's the after. And this is all happening back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. In the before, we're talking about Beth in high school. We learn about her and Gabriel's relationship, how they met. It's like this really whimsical, like swept up romance. They're young. He's from a really wealthy family. She's from a very like lower middle class family. And so he like kind of empowers her to go and apply at Oxford and talk about getting into like writing more and doing poetry and things like that, and kind of introduces her to this life that she just has never even been exposed to. Now Gabriel's mom is a downright bitch. We hate her.
We hate Gabriel's
Her name's
mom.
Tessa. She's a hoe.
We hate her.
She's a hoe for show.
She's awful to her.
So mean to Beth.
And she sees her as, you are below me and you're below my son, and
correct,
you do not deserve him because they come from money, she doesn't.
Exactly. So that's all happening. Gabriel leaves in the fall. This is like a summer fling. Gabriel leaves in the fall to go to Oxford for college, and
while she's still finishing up her classes.
Yes,
so
she's still like a senior in high school. Yes, definitely left behind. Definitely like feeling nervous. They're writing each other letters, but it's not the same thing. She goes to the school and visits him and does her interviews for Oxford to try to get in. She does get in. But she eventually is going to decline going because she finds out that Gabriel is cheating on her. We're going to find out later. He actually never did cheat on her, but he has a situationship with Louisa, who ends up being revealed as Bobby's mom. So yeah, that's twist.
Or as Leo.
Yes, sorry. Thank you. Leo's mom. Bobby's mom's Beth. Gabriel marries Louisa, and they have Leo together. And then Louisa is the one that dips out on her family and is a big shithead. So anyways, that's the before. I don't think there's anything really else to add about the before part.
No, besides leading up, because after that, so after their breakup, she has known Frank all of her life.
Yes.
So, and he had a crush on her, I think. Forever, but she had never really given him the time of day. So when her and Gabriel break up, it's this awful saying goodbye kind of at the train station. She moves back home, and it's like her and Frank just kind of pick up from there. And that's when we find out that she is actually pregnant. And she is very upfront with Frank, telling him, hey, like, I do have a baby. And he's like, okay, what did he say in the book?
He said, like, we'll stop being so silly. Like, that's something to celebrate. And
he just accepted and loved her for exactly where she was at the time.
And that's whenever we start loving Frank, because definitely, like, in the beginning, he just seems like a little farmer, but he is so devoted to Beth.
And this is also after Tessa, Gabriel's mom, had paid her off to never tell Gabriel about the baby.
Yes. And I do want to say we're going so out of order, but that's not even out of order. It's just hard to talk about it in a chronological way because nothing about the book is chronological.
It wasn't told that way.
No,
it went
so
back
much
and forth the entire time.
So we're kind of like picking one time frame and like going through it the whole way. These are huge spoilers, clearly. That's why you're listening to this. But I do think the book is still worth a read, even if you go into it knowing these things, because it's still it's a good character development. It's a great book. So she's pregnant. We don't find out that Bobby, the son, was Gabriel's son until the very end, really. But we do know that there's a trial going on because someone has been killed. And we don't know. The trial chapters are very, very short. We're only getting a little bit of Beth sitting in the stands. They're talking about her affair with Gabriel, but we're not sure who is on the stand. Gabriel, Frank, Jimmy, who died, Gabriel, Frank, Jimmy. We're not sure about any of it. So moving forward, she starts having an affair with Gabriel. It lasts like 4 days, I think. But she's like over there all day. Those days, like shebang bang. And Frank finds out because the town is a little gossipy, whatever. Frank finds out. And he actually really handles it like with grace. And the reason that we find out that he is so chill about her sleeping with someone else is because their son Bobby died when he was 9 due to an accident on the farm. And Beth really blames Frank and Frank's dad and Jimmy for not watching Bobby well enough, because she told them, like, I don't like this. Like, they were cutting down a huge tree, and
she's going to lunch with girlfriends, and they're like, "Why are you worrying so much? You're worried
quit being
too
such a
much.
worry warrior. You're so annoying." And Bobby gets crushed by a tree in front of Beth. She gets there and sees it at that time, and it's horrible scene in the book. But she knows who she's blaming is Frank, and it's really hard for her to ever face him again. Jimmy's girlfriend at the time, what was her name? Jimmy's girlfriend. I always forget her name. Nina. Nina comes and gets Beth from her parents' house and is like, come back. Jimmy is feeling so sad because he feels responsible for Bobby. Frank doesn't know what to do without you. Like, we need you at the farm. So she comes back, and they just kind of like sweep it all under the rug, this like terrible thing. They don't talk about Bobby until Leo, really, his presence like brings up all these feelings. But I do think that Frank is so chill about the affair really because he feels so responsible for Bobby's death.
Yeah.
And they're all struggling emotionally. Now, Jimmy hears about, what's her name? Beth having an affair with Gabriel. And Lars starts losing his shit. And he is like so angry that Beth has done this to their family.
How could you do this to our family?
Yes. And they really, like Jimmy especially really views them like a unit. And Jimmy was really young whenever Beth came around. He delivered Bobby because there was a storm and he was there and he was like in high school and he delivers her baby. Yeah. Like their connection is more than just a regular like brother sister-in-law situation. So Jimmy's also a really heavy drinker. He is irate. He is furious. He wants revenge. And so he is riding around town with a gun and he is going to teach Gabriel a lesson is basically what he keeps saying. So at this point we know Jimmy has a gun. Someone's going to die. We're getting closer and closer to finding out who actually was killed, how, and why. So it turns out that Jimmy is the one that was shot and Frank is on trial for his brother's murder, but it isn't adding up exactly. And Beth is alluding to the fact that they wish they could tell the truth.
And only 3 people know the truth in this situation.
Exactly.
Throughout the book, there's little Easter eggs that they give you.
Exactly, for sure. So come to find out that Jimmy came to Gabriel's house. Beth had come there to warn Gabriel and Leo, like, hey, you need to lie low or get out of here. Jimmy's on a tear. He's got a gun, whatever. Jimmy comes to the house. He's like shooting out the windows and the doors. And Gabriel goes outside and is like, I'm going to take you home. I don't know why Jimmy didn't shoot him then, but okay. And
well, he used Beth as Beth will come home with you if you will come home.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He used her as leverage to get him to calm down.
So they all get in the car to go. Leo's also coming because he's like so scared he doesn't want to be left alone. Yeah. So now we've got this awkward like 3-minute ride to their house. I can't imagine how awkward this is. There's a shotgun in the car. Jimmy, Gabriel, Beth, and Leo. So they go inside and they're fighting. Frank's frustrated with Jimmy and basically says like to the point of, if this is what Beth wants to do, like I'm going to turn a blind eye, like whatever makes her happy and can make our lives move forward. It is what it is. And Jimmy is not satisfied with this. He goes to start choking Gabriel and here comes Leo and he shoots Jimmy fatally. Frank takes the fall for this and Gabriel really can't understand why he would do that. And that's when it's revealed later. Beth says to him, he's saving this son because he couldn't save your other one. And it's like, oh shit.
Punch to the gut.
Yes, because you find out that at that time that Bobby is Gabriel's son. Gabriel is devastated. He didn't know that his mom paid her off and did all these terrible things. So he is just like devastated. He lost the son before he even knew him. And now you understand why Beth had such an attachment to Leo initially. Frank is convicted of manslaughter, I think. So he serves like 5 years, 7 years, something along those lines. At this point, after the shooting, Beth completely goes back to Frank and breaks it off with Gabriel and is like, I don't love you. Like, this man has been here for me. He was willing to accept me at my worst. Who am I to not accept him? And you go through this really like roller coaster of emotions with both men because you find, to me, it was like peaks and valleys for both of them where I'm like, leave Frank, go be with Gabriel. And then I'd be like, ew, Gabriel, get away from her. Like,
I know.
It's very much like up and down for really the relationships you have with everybody.
Yeah, it was hard to find the right answer for her.
So challenging. Yes. So to wrap up the book, before they go to trial, Frank and Beth are back together. Beth becomes pregnant, but she doesn't tell anybody because I think she hadn't had losses before that, but she just didn't want to tell anyone, I think.
Yeah, no.
So she doesn't tell Frank until after he is convicted and she knows he's going to go away. And he basically is like, do not ever visit me in prison. I want this to make, like, I want your picture of me and my picture of you to be untainted. I don't want you to see me in prison. I don't want my child, who ends up being a daughter, to see me in prison. I want to come home to the farm and be home. And that's and close this chapter of our lives. So they don't see each other for 5-6 years, whatever it is. And he comes back to the farm. And this is like whenever I texted you, I was like, I'm sobbing because he comes back to the farm and this little girl who's never seen him in real life before runs up to him and is like, Dad's home. And it's so beautiful. And they're all back together and their family is broken, but they're back where they started working the farm with their kid and living life.
Yeah.
And that's my synopsis.
Thank you. You did. Great job. Amazing. Class.
Thank you.
What did you guys rate the book at book club?
This episode of Cheers to That is sponsored by Motet, a kids' clothing brand that focuses on functional yet stylish wear where elegance meets ease. From cozy sleepwear to playful daywear, every design is meant to move with little ones while simplifying life for parents. Make sure to check out their website, shopmotet.com, and use code CheersToThat20 for 20% off your first order.
Today's episode of Cheers to That is brought to you by Deeply Rooted Handmade, a local business specializing in handmade soaps, bath salts, and balms. The products are non-toxic, safe for your family, and they smell amazing. Use code CheersToThat10 to receive 10% off of your order. Because I know there were some mixed reviews.
I know, but it was so few of us. I think what we ended up rating it was like a 4.75.
Okay.
It was pretty high. So Olivia and I switched because Olivia initially rated it a 4. Mm-hmm. And I was so surprised because she rates everything a 5.
Yeah.
And then I rated it a 5 initially, and that was confusing because I never rate anything a 5. And then once we got to book club, I was like, she was saying to me, like, I don't know why I did that. I definitely think it's a 5. And I was like, I don't know why I put a 5. I think it's definitely like 4.5. So I think we landed on a 4.75 because it was really good. But honestly, oh my God, I just burped.
I didn't hear it.
I hope the mic didn't pick that up. The person that got in my head the most after reading this book was my husband.
Yeah, he is anyone's biggest critic, so.
Literally, except mine because I'm perfect. Yeah, Connor read the book too, and his biggest criticism was like that the characters were really one-dimensional, and especially the men. Like, we're hearing so much about the men, but we're not hearing it from their perspective, and so he struggled with that. And it brought up a lot of really like tough conversations for us too. Like, okay, if there was an accident with our child, God forbid, God forbid, God forbid, well, you would never forgive me, and it's like, in my heart, like, no, as a like mom and a woman, like, no, I wouldn't. But I think hearing it from like his perspective, he's like, so you would never want me to forgive you? And it was just like a whole opening up. Like, hopefully we never even have to think about these things.
It's a good conversation though to look at, because in my how I think about it is, if I were to ever let something bad happen to my kids, I would never forgive myself, number one, and would never expect anyone to forgive me. Yeah. So in return, if my husband let something happen to my kids, no, I will not forgive you. There will be no like rekindling, like we have to cut our ties and move on.
Bye. Toodles.
But I do think it's not as black and white for men. I think that they think like we could work through anything. And I'm like, yeah, but you have your boundaries. And mine would be like, you causing an accident with my kid. Like, well, and that of negligence.
Like negligence, and also like, I told you to be careful, and you didn't listen to me.
And there were 3 of you out there. And now were 3 men.
We're suffering for the rest of our lives. Like, I just cannot think. Like, child loss is a really hard thing, I think, for everyone to read about. But like, I really struggle with it because it just makes me like sick. And we talk about like how I have the most intrusive thoughts all the time. So this really amplifies it for me. But yeah, I think there's shades of gray, and I hope I never have to even get close to considering anything like that. But I wouldn't know what that situation is like until I was in it, and I hope to never be in it. So I don't know. But yeah, so we rated it like a 4.75 because we said it had everything in it that we love.
Yes.
Mystery, romance, historical fiction, drama. I wouldn't even say historical fiction necessarily. It's kind of the wrong way to put it. More like just like it's not the present.
We like the setting, though.
And the setting. Like, English countryside, take me there.
Yes. And it being it feels like a lifetime ago, like the 1960s, 1950s, that it is a different time period. And
for sure.
I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was great. I was reading some reviews online, and one of the reviews, I hate to admit that Connor was right, was that lack of character development. So I see exactly where he's coming from, but what I liked was the fast paced of it.
Yes, the chapters.
I think I read it in like 2 or 3 days. Yeah. It did take me a couple of chapters to get into, just because it does switch so much.
Yeah. That was Connor's other complaint.
Connor did not like the switching.
He struggles with transitions.
Yes.
Put it on his accommodations.
He did not like that it switched time periods. I thought that once I got into it, that made it go by so fast.
I agree. I like a back and forth situation in general. Like, even with Throne of Glass, that's one of the things I love about it, is that we're switching character perspectives so much as we get into the later books. Yeah. You're in different characters' heads, and I like that. I like the pacing of different time periods. Anything that just keeps it fresh. Like, I think it really makes it move quickly, and you're getting insight in different areas, and to me, that's rewarding.
And maybe I mean, I can't speak to him. I'm just going to put words in his mouth, but maybe he didn't like it because he is kind of a newer reader.
Yeah.
And so like if this is your first couple of books you've read in a while, you know, he read It Happened One Summer, which he loved. And then he reads this one. Like it might seem like a lot and you're like, why would the author do this? Well, but after reading so much, you expect the craft. Or you respect it, not expect it.
But you also do expect it too because you kind of like can expect the cadence of different books and just like you appreciate different types of books. I mean, Connor read It Happened One Summer and then the sequel Hook, Line, and Sinker, and we had a lot of conversations about it. But yeah, I don't know that historical fiction is going to be his vibe, and I think our next book that we're hopefully going to dive into together is going to be from both male and female perspectives. I think that would be good for him. Yeah. I think he'd like that. TBD.
But with Broken Country, we do have a couple of questions to go over. The first one is, what does the title Broken Country symbolize?
Well, let me say that when I first read Broken Country, I thought it was going to be a Western. Not sure why.
Brokeback Mountain?
No, like
countryside.
I guess. I don't know what I was thinking. Like I really thought this was about to be like a Western, like I don't know where that came from. And then you were like, it's in England. And
have you looked at the cover page? Nope. And it's a little cottage.
No, didn't pay attention. I thought like, well, I seriously don't know. My brain was like, I'm about to read about cowboys. Not sure where that came from. But I talked about this in book club a lot. I think that really the landscape and the livestock in Broken Country is what Broken Country is all about. Like we're talking about kind of how they live with the land and the animals and what that looks like and how they are all kind of represented in those things. And so I said that in the beginning of the book, we kind of get like the whole foreshadowing of what the book is going to be and what the characters are going to be in the perspective of farm animals. So I said that Frank and Beth's marriage is like these like innocent little baby sheep and they're trying to like start new and fresh and live their lives. And then Gabriel's like his dog that comes busting in and ripping out throats and very violent. And that's really what Gabriel's, you know, coming into the scene is for them. It's going to just tear apart their like cute little comfy farm life and it's going to bring in this violence all around.
I like that. I think for me, Broken Country represents like all of their broken pieces that they faced in farm life. It's brutal.
Yeah.
If you've ever lived a day on the farm, you would know. You've seen glimpses of it from my family. Like, oh, the new baby calf died, and like now we have to like do something with it and things like that. So it's like it can be a very harsh environment, and so it's like all of these broken pieces that. You know, Beth came in broken to this farm but Frank, like they keep trying to repair it. And so it's just that story of, you know, like life is hard and you're always going to have things that come in and tear you apart. But like, how are you going to put yourself back together?
No, for sure.
That's my thought on it. Now, I know we just talked about this a little bit, but did you end up liking the structure and did it enhance the mystery or did it feel disjointed the way it was presented?
For me, I think it enhanced the mystery. I liked the structure of it. I really have no complaints. It was such a quick read to me because of the structure. I don't have any complaints. My husband, definitely, I asked him the same question. He said disjointed completely. He was like, I hate this.
I feel like it also enhanced the mystery. I think that we kept guessing. And it's funny because it was predictable enough where her intentions were not to throw you completely off. And at the end, you're completely surprised. Like she gives these little pieces for you to gather up along the way, these little breadcrumbs and draw your own conclusions. And it was fun because we were making all of these predictions throughout the book. And then it was fun when we were like, oh my God, we were right. And it wasn't like a disappointing, like, oh my God, that was so predictable. But it was fun because we did get to keep guessing. So.
Well, and I also wonder, because we were working last week and we were commuting like 4.5 hours a day, I wonder if we weren't talking so much about it, if we would have predicted it in its entirety. Because like you had some predictions, I had some predictions. So I think whenever they came together, we got like, 4 out of 5 of the
there were
big
certain things I
things
did not even think of.
And same with you. Like there were things you said, I was like, oh my God, you're so right.
I predicted, one of my predictions was Leo was the shooter.
Yes.
And I didn't know why they would protect him, but I thought, why would this be a big mystery the whole time? And then what was yours? There was a big one that you had.
Bobby was Gabriel's son.
Yes.
I said that one. And then there was one more. that I can. Oh, that Jimmy was the one that was going to die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I said Jimmy's going to be the one that's killed. It's not Frank, because in the little. I don't even know what you call that, like summary in the beginning of the book to try to get you interested in it. No. It says the farmer is dead, and it didn't say Frank, and it wouldn't say the husband. It just said the farmer, and I was like, it's not Frank. They want us to think it's Frank at first, and it's definitely not. But yeah,
you had really 2 good and correct predictions, so that was fun. Let's see. So Beth feels like she loves both Frank and Gabriel. Do you believe it's possible to love more than one person as deeply as she did? That's that's a really hard question.
I know. And I seriously, I have heard these questions. This is my 3rd time to go through them because I went through them with Connor individually and at book club. Unfortunately, I have to have full book club sessions with my husband now as well. But I think that the love was so varied and different. And I don't think that Beth loved Gabriel in the way that she loved Frank. Her and Frank, we were talking about it with it happened one summer. When you're married and you have these day in, day out transactions and these little hurts and these big hurts and these big loves and wins and losses, you have a much fuller picture of what that love looks like. And with Gabriel, it's all really wrapped up in lust and it being unattainable.
That excitement, that young love.
Absolutely.
It's exciting that everything that they had whenever they were young in high school and going into college.
And I think that because their relationship ended with such a big miscommunication, her thinking he cheated on her, him wanting to tell her he didn't, their story was so not done, because we were talking at book club about our first loves. And I think that's a question on here, is the first love powerful enough? And I think for me, my first big boyfriend that I had, that I lived with and whatever before Connor, I feel so resolved in that situation because it ended it needed to end and it was done.
She didn't have that though. She literally had his son and had to hide it from him because of his mom.
There was no resolution. There was no closing the chapter. And so I think that left the door wide open for that. What do you think?
No, I completely agree with you. And I think, because I had asked you, and this leads to another question of, do you think Beth would have had an affair with Gabriel if it wasn't for the loss of
Amazing
Robbie?
Question.
And you brought up, you were like, I don't think she would have had that. I don't think that door, I think that resolve was not there because she lost her son. She was gutted. And she also was curious about what would have happened if I would have seen this through with Gabriel, whatever. And I think she had to have those 4 days or whatever. And it was that same young love excitement. Yep. But then she still came back to, but Frank has been my stronghold, my everything through everything that we've been through. He's been there and he's been steady. And I definitely think that she cared deeply about them, but I do not think she loved Gabriel on the same level that she loved Frank.
Right. Because I don't think she knew Gabriel fully.
No.
I mean,
she had the idea of him,
Absolutely.
And especially because he was a famous author at that point. And so
and
all she knew
writing,
of him was this picture of him that was in the news and then her past version of him.
Right.
She didn't have anything current to go off of.
No.
Of anything actual.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's see. Oh, when Leo shoots Jimmy, Frank takes the fall. Was that honorable, misguided, or something else?
So this whole concept made me think of whenever we watched Adolescence, because it's kind of that age-old conversation of, would you take the fall for your kid or not? And to me, what Frank did for Leo was really more for Beth, and I don't think it was to Leo's benefit.
I think it was more for himself, too. I think he still hadn't found forgiveness in himself. And obviously, he's still yearning for that from Beth. I completely agree with you. But I think that this was his way to try to make it right.
Pay his
dues.
Exactly. And so but it goes back to what we talked about before. What are you teaching? Leo killed somebody.
Yeah.
And I think it could have been explained away in court where he could have maybe gotten less time or gone to some sort of something needs to be done for this kid. I mean, he literally killed someone.
Yeah.
Can't do that shit.
But I think it was a theme in this book that things got pushed under the rug in this small town. Yeah. Everything did. And this was just another way for them to do that.
Yeah.
But was it honorable?
No.
No.
Twas not.
No. I think that Frank needed it, I think, to move on to this next part of his life.
Yeah.
But it's selfish. Like that, if you're using it for your own personal gain, then that would be selfish. And it's funny because I don't see Frank as a selfish person.
I agree. I think you're right. I think it was his way of like paying his dues to Beth for Bobby's death. And I think that, I don't know, to me, it's like Gabriel could afford the best lawyers and the best defense and everything else. So let him defend his son.
Yeah.
And he probably at 9 or 10 or however old he was would have gotten off just fine.
I don't think he would have.
No, but you send an innocent man to jail.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not my fave.
He paid his penance one way or another. There was something else. What was I gonna ask? If there's one that you think of that y'all talked about or you talked about with Connor, let me know. I can't think of anything right now,
but I am brain dead, so
okay. I mean, we're pretty much wrapping up. Let me just find like one more. There's several questions. So was there genuine resolution for Beth, Frank, and Gabriel by the end, or are their futures still ambiguous?
That's a great question, and I remember talking about that one at book club. I think Frank and Beth's future is solidified. I don't think Beth ever steps out on Frank again. I think they raise their daughter in farm life, very much how she raised Bobby up until his death. And I think she is even more confident with her choice and resolved in like what her life looks like. Yeah. I think whenever she had Bobby and was married to Frank, she still had these moments of questioning if she had made the right choice, longing for kind of that like exuberance and exuberance is not the right word I was looking for. I can't think of what I'm talking about. Like elegance and like uplifted lifestyle.
Well, it's a different life. It's a completely different life that she would have been living with Gabriel.
Exactly. But I think now Gabriel's future, like I don't think he ever thinks of Beth the same way again, knowing that she kept his son from him.
Ooh.
I think he is
like there was never a future with them.
I think now that like he is done romanticizing Beth as a human because he sees that even though his mom,
I was going to say who he should villainize though is his mother.
Right. No, for sure.
I don't think that's happening.
She's a
but
I can't say it enough.
She was awful. You just need to read the book. Like it was awful.
Yeah.
To see how she treated Beth and to one of my favorite lines in the book was Tessa is paying Beth off. Like, so this doesn't change, so this doesn't change Gabriel's life. Like, let's keep it a secret. And she's like, but what about my life?
Yeah.
Like, it's completely changed
God
now
forbid
by a
his
baby.
life has changed because now I have to carry this child. And she gets, we didn't even mention this earlier, but like, she pays her off and it's more than her parents' teaching salaries. And then she still gets kicked out of school.
Yeah.
Because the nuns find out that she's pregnant.
Because Tessa called.
Gabriel's mom calls and tells them that bitch.
Yeah. Awful.
Hate her.
Overall, really great book. I'm glad we read it. I think it was a great book club read.
Yes.
I think if you're looking for like a light, like not light because it wasn't, but like a quick summer read, pick it up. And
I seriously, Connor and I both read it in a day. And it was like so fast.
Yeah.
So quick. We both loved it. Now we're reading Till Summer Do Us Part, I think is what it's called. Our friend Olivia got it for me for my birthday. And it's so cute. Like she got me one of the special ones because she always has like the cutest books.
She does.
So she got me a cute little copy.
So
Connor,
cute.
of course, stole it from me already and started reading it last night. So I guess I'll read it after
I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, this book looks so cute. And you told me Olivia got this for me. But guess what? Connor's actually reading it before me. I was like, oh.
Never in my life did I imagine that I'd be fighting my husband for books.
He's just a smutty little guy.
He's just slutty little smutster. Yeah, no, he's just loving books right now. But Olivia said this book, that I think it's Emily Henry. It's like one of the funniest books she's ever read. She's like, I laugh out loud for this book.
Yeah.
And she said, humble brag, that she got it for me because I make her laugh so much. It's just a little bit about me. I'm just making people giggle.
Well, I'm reading right now The Wish by
Nicholas Sparks. I've never read a Nicholas Sparks book in my life.
What are your thoughts? The writing style is definitely different for me. I like the storyline a lot. I don't know if I like his writing style.
I know. What is it about his writing? Because I haven't read Nicholas Sparks in years, but I know I never loved it.
It's very conversational between the characters. Instead of like getting the internal thoughts, which I think I like a lot. Yeah, it's very dialogue-y. and it's like some pointless dialogue where I'm like, they could have definitely taken this out.
Yeah.
And then I also think about this man, and I'm like, he better be a romantic guy in real life, because if you're writing all of these like romantic books, like I would be so mad if I was his partner, like wife or husband, I don't know, but like if I was his partner and then he gets done writing his smutty little like romantic book,
bitch, get him a dinner, cook me dinner,
and then he's just awful. Like,
I mean, she or he probably throws that in his face so hard. Oh, really? Would your character ever?
Well, in the Notebook,
leave streaks in the toilet. Like, it's just not. Nicholas Sparks, like, stories, if they're on TV, like the Lucky One's on TV, Dear John's on TV, whatever. Okay, I want to. But as books, they are too cheesy to me.
Yeah. But like someone dear to me gave me this book and like she really liked it. But so like I said, I like the storyline. I just don't know if I like his writing style. But then after this, I have in my line The Paper Palace, which was a Reese Witherspoon book club book. And then I also want to read Pride and Prejudice, which I've never read before. And I've never watched the movie.
I just watched it the other night. It was so wonderful. I forgot. But I found out that the DVD that I used to play in my portable DVD player, driving back and forth from my grandparents' house, I had a bonus scene on there that was not included in the movie on HBO. So then I got worried I Mandela affected myself, and so I was like, did this scene ever happen? Have I been imagining this? So I had to YouTube it and look it up. But it's a bonus scene, and for the love of God, like, I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to spoil it for you, but like, this scene is so beautiful and perfect and wraps up the story so well, and I cannot believe that it is not included in the regular version. Why would they leave it out?
Is it in the book? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, I'll read the book and I'll let you know.
I read the book in 7th grade, I think, so I literally don't remember.
That's kind of wild. You were reading that in 7th grade.
Do you want to know why?
I'm so far. Why? I don't know.
Because I got AR points.
Oh,
did y'all have AR?
Oh, yes.
I got 95 AR points for that book.
You got that pizza party, bitch.
Girl, I got the whole school at a party. Not really. I think I got like 2 erasers instead of 1. Like, I really don't think I got that much, but I was like, it's 95 AR points.
Here, you little snob.
Yeah, no, literally. I did that, and then I also...
Impressive.
I have a confession. I cheated on ER.
That too.
I cheated on AR.
How did you do that?
I watched the Harry Potter movies, and then I took the test, and I got the points.
I mean, I think we all, like, I probably did that with Bridge to Terabithia because I was like obsessed with that movie. I've literally been living
with this guilt for 18 years. I'm not okay.
Thank God you're not like Catholic and you would just be going to confession like, please forgive me.
Honestly, I wish I was Catholic, because then I could have gotten off my chest with some Hail Marys. I've just been carrying this load with me
from these sins.
Yeah, I felt so bad for cheating because I was like such a big reader always my whole life. I read enough books for AR. Why did I feel like I needed to do more?
Because, well, we could get into that on another episode.
That's a separate issue.
Or just a Wendy conversation. You were enough.
Hello.
You were enough.
Okay. On that note,
time to wrap her up. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Let me reword that. Time to wrap it up.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. Please subscribe on Cheers to That on YouTube. Cheers to That pod on TikToky. Cheers _to_that_ podcast. I don't think there's
this is your great memory coming in clutch. So I'm like, I don't even know what
on Instagram and find us wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube.
Thanks for listening, guys.
See you later,
Bye.
turds. Bye.